Another episode of DJM, Don't Judge Man. I am your host, NGenius. On the camera we've got Thesian. To my far right we've got Jussa, got NK, got Bedders, we've got Reeks, and we've got Hez.
Yo, HE double, always get to the point. Fuck it, and never get to the point. Let's go.
Alright, first things first, before we start anything, as we have got quite a few United fans here, I will say... Huh?
Just say number one fan.
Yeah, number one fan to my left.
Man like Patrice.
I will say congrats to Arsenal.
Good.
Oh bloody hell!
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell! Oh bloody hell! Wait a minute!
Hold on.
Oh my
Wait
days.
a minute!
Bellerin, you alright, mate?
Hey, listen.
Oh, Bellerin! Kellerin!
Okay.
Alright, Kellerin here! Alright, okay. We'll save the rest of the football talk till Fergie time. First things first, social media, there's been a few things flying around. Don't know if you lot seen Chance the Rapper's finally got married to his obviously childhood sweetheart.
Congrats.
Which is quite a rare thing in the rapping industry to stay with the same woman from before you made it to you do make it, but he's doing well. But I also see, I don't know if you lot seen, J-Lo has been proposed to again. It broke my heart. It broke my heart. I'm not gonna lie, guys. J-Lo has been my sweetheart since I can remember. And
number one. Number one.
Forget it. Number one.
Just wait a bit longer.
Would you go? Oh, if I got married 4 times, are you coming every single time to my wedding?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Oh, still if you pay for food, innit?
I just don't like the fact that someone proposed to her. That's it.
Yo, who is it?
I don't know if I could turn up 4 times.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
A-Rose. No, but man, I've seen the hate from Jose Canseco, no?
No, I haven't seen
Because those two were old like teammates, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like on baseball, but obviously Jose Canseco, he's well, no, this is what he's trying to say. So he's basically said to him, like, he's a drug cheat like me, all the rest of it.
Wow.
So like me, yeah. Yo, that's how he ended up being in disrepute, innit? Like, because basically, he did more than that. Like, he wrote a book about juicing and threw his whole team that were on steroids under the bus. But he's always had bare hate for Alex Rodriguez, isn't it? But basically he said, oh, he's a liar. He's been sleeping with my ex-wife for however long. He's trying to shut him down before it even starts, bro. It's
I've seen Diddy like creep up in some of J-Lo's pictures, like putting love hearts in, them eyes, the fire emojis. Diddy's so Diddy might still be on the prowl.
Diddy would do that to all his exes, bro.
It gets on to the first topic. Who was your first crush, like celebrity crush, growing up? Mine was J-Lo. There was a few potentially before her, but
Are we talking about Nubians?
any.
Just asking. Am I alright? Come on, let me live in it. I'm just asking it.
Tell me you got.
Wow, he's mad good around that side.
I'll start off. It's always been and always will be Halle Berry. I don't care how washed people say she's become.
Who?
Halle Berry, bro.
Washed.
But some people say that, innit? Like, because she's a bit older now, and you know she's not looking as prime as she was in Boomerang. But fam, yo, she's the littest one. Number one all day, every day. Mythical box, the whole lot. Even Drake tried to do something and.
Mythical box.
Mythical box.
You don't know about that talk?
You don't know about the mythical box talk?
No.
Wowzers. That could be for another podcast, you know.
Wowzers.
That could be for another podcast.
I'll tell you what I will say before we get rid of that. The mythical box list, right? It's about all the women that you've ever thought of who have got the sickest nons. I'm saying to the point where.
Well,
listen, I'll say it. To the point where, like, you know, for like their things are turning certain man mad, innit? But they're just lit, like Ariana Grande, like really Rihanna, like them things. Unicorn.
What you mean turn the man fool?
Turn the man fool, everything, and still come out smelling the roses. While the man smelling like pom pom.
Wait. That'll be for another podcast, guys. That will be for another podcast. We'll move on swiftly.
One second. Was you on about the same boxer you was talking about?
Sort of, but not as vulgar or as
It's the same thing. Yes. Mine's not.
Raw, but
yeah, on to you.
You have to come back to me.
Oh, wowza! You still after all that?
Oh, right.
Still think about the
I had two.
I got mine still.
Mariah Carey was first, and then Christina Milian took over.
I remember those periods.
Listen, back in school, I had my work folder. I made a collage, put her on the folder. I won't even lie, I've still got this picture. I've still got it.
He was deep.
Yeah, man. Christina Milian.
I remember.
You buy the magazine.
I cut them out.
You used to frighten
Was that Beddoes Heart and then Christina Milian?
No.
2K15.
What's it, 15, you know? 2K15. No. No Beddoes Heart.
You buy the magazine.
You were like this. It's fine, man. No, we're friends. No one else is listening, man. I told the truth.
I've still got the poster in it.
Oh, what? The magazine?
I cut them out. Newspaper clippings, all of them. Collage.
Newspaper
Collage.
The newspaper.
Sure. No, I did like her until you must have heard the story about one of our brethrens has been there and
I heard and then I can't.
What?
Yeah. Like it's sort of
It's an
friend of a friend, innit? Who's been there, and I was like, what?
Genuine?
Christina, yeah.
He actually has.
Yeah, and I'm thinking,
Not my friend though. So.
and I'm like, Christina Milian, like that's how accessible shit. Even though we was young, I just thought, no, she can't be top 5 dead or alive for me. But no, I do understand your love for her. What about you?
One of them, one then.
Mine's a bit controversial. Evil Longoria Parker.
She's fire.
Well, I like that.
Full name?
No, I like that.
She's from Desperate Housewives.
I like that.
Actually.
I like that.
She's fire.
No, mine's Stacey Dash. I thought by Stacey Dash. She was
Clueless.
badass. Yeah, she was badass. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
Nia Long, mate.
Neil, yeah.
Okay, so non-Nubian. Yo, that surprises me from you, you know, just I don't go
You opened saying loads, you know.
non-Nubian.
Loads, you know. Got time for that, you know.
Yeah, non-Nubian. I'll be honest, I thought you were gonna say Britney Spears, bro. So nothing like that.
Britney!
I said Britney. Christina Aguilera.
Which Britney?
Blonde Britney, innit? Like not that innocent Britney. Hit me one more time.
Probably Sofia Vergara.
Who's that?
Yeah. I never knew I pronounced her last name. You say Viagra. Vergara. Everybody's looking at me like, pronounce it right. Yeah, okay, couple good names on the list. Next topic, social media. I don't know if you lot experienced it, but there was like a little shutdown on Instagram. Man could scroll through, man could like tutu pictures, man could post tutu selfies. I couldn't send any voice notes on WhatsApp, and voice notes is my
It took me back to the time when man had the D500, yeah. For the free weekends. Free weekends. Bashing. Yeah. Back in the day, horrible.
Oh my days of D5.
Did it affect you?
To be fair, not as much, but I tell you what, it gave me bare entertainment, innit? Like, just seeing people losing their minds, like, oh my god, the uploads are not coming through, oh my god, I can't see this, or I can't send that. I'm like, yo, relax, it's just social media, you can still talk on WhatsApp, you just can't send the images, you dirty use. Like, what do you mean?
There's a lot of people venting on Twitter though, like, that's like, I didn't even really clock, I just thought my phone like being like weird. And I saw on Twitter, everyone was like, yeah, we've come back to Twitter. I was like, why have you left Twitter?
That's what I'm saying, come back to Twitter. Do you know how mad that sounds?
Yeah, it's crazy.
No.
But that leads on, I don't know if you lot have seen on Twitter, there's been a bit of a outburst. A bit of an outburst. The story is about this Christian who sort of...
Shout out to Black Twitter anyway.
Yeah, Black Twitter is the one. I say it every week, Black Twitter is where I get all my news from. All my news. Well, he liked this girl, She asked him if he can borrow him a PayPal. He's like, yeah, use my PayPal. She then rinsed him, finessed him. He owed money out, saw her out, and next girl's come like, yeah, she owes me money. He's thinking, yeah, what shall I do? He's got involved with the second girl who was upset. She's now like eared his clot out. He said, no, I smashed, I beat. She's like, no, you didn't. I don't beat anyone with foreskin. randomly, he's like got vexed. Sent a dick pic through on Twitter. Everyone sees. His brethren's like, no, he ain't got foot. Like, it's just weird.
You have to treat on Twitter.
The whole world.
Everyone.
He's got mad.
That is a nibble and a half. That's when you know you're rattled. Like when it's bad enough that it's like no woman I've ever spoke to even likes unsolicited dick pics. Imagine flipping sending that out for everyone to see, bro. It's crazy. You're at the mercy of everybody at that point.
Crazy.
That's horrible.
No, women feel in it when man do that, innit? Just like.
But that gets onto this topic. Right. Any of you man ever do anything crazy in terms of whether it's he's smiling. Look at him.
He's got one already.
Oh my God.
You know, he's really in the social media.
I'm just listening.
So yeah, any of you man sent dick pics. I don't really like just.
Why?
I don't know if that. For me, I've never thought of doing stuff like that. Like. I've never thought, but I don't know if. Justin, what do you think, mate? Because he's.
I was about to say, you look like you want to confess right now.
Yeah, I've been there still. Not gonna lie.
What do you mean?
Not gonna lie, still.
No, you're gonna have to speak up about been there. What do you mean?
What does that mean?
As in like photo, innit?
What
did she ask, or did you just send?
Why? Well,
she asked this shit. Yo, straight to DM. No words. Hold it.
No, but there was conversation before, innit? It wasn't just like just
What was
straight.
the conversation?
Just a random conversation.
Like
Random
Just
conversation.
a random conversation.
Like whatever?
And then,
Like hey,
Doesn't it happen,
like
doesn't
hey B, I like your picture. What you doing? Bang! Dick pic out there.
Take it.
this guy here, see what I'm saying?
I can't lie.
Yo, listen,
a few years ago, I've been caught up in that, and I've done that.
Oh wow!
What did you do?
I'm glad.
Pictures,
Man, I've done
that before.
But that's before.
Okay.
Like, that's different.
I'm not in it now. Years and years ago, a younger
Can I
person,
just
I'm not
ask
done
as
that.
the disembodied voice? What makes you do that though?
No, I think that's different.
What,
though.
that's different. Pictures going back and forth.
People are going back and forth. It's like chat, isn't
I
it?
didn't just randomly here you go, here's the body.
Oh, fair.
I'm not into that.
Because set man,
It was back and forth.
Nowadays, 2019, set man just chat to a girl, hey B, dick pic.
Yeah,
I don't even know if that's
Some people don't even see that. It's just straight up in it. Like honestly, like there's like people that like I work with and stuff, and like people that I know. Man need to relax. But no, there's certain girls and whatever that like have kind of said that outright. Like they'll literally just post any old picture with their friends. They won't even be like dressed up sexy or nothing. It will just be like walks in the park or something with my girls. Next thing you know, you get someone literally just randomly. It's not even the eyes no more. It's just straight up dick pic. Or you want some of this B or
Aubergine.
you know what I mean? It's like
Aubergine.
You know what I mean? Like, I bet you better than your man. And you're like, you don't even know, man. Check him. He's gonna shot. Man's got the Americans unlocked.
He knows all the lingo though.
Speaking the same thing.
He knows the lingo.
Fam, listen. I'll be honest. No, to be fair, I kind of got battered with the whole like in people's like DMs or
I
whatever.
remember.
Oh wow!
Remember on Facebook that time?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
To our people.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah.
The girl turned to you, innit?
Yeah. So
You tried to out,
basically,
man.
I was dropping a few out there and whatever, and it was looking a little bit mad. And they're the kind of things that you kind of see in there, and it's wild. Like,
So how do you think you learnt from that situation? Like, do you think that, let's say, one of your friends approached you and said, yeah, that Jusser has been sending me dick pics. Would you out him publicly, or would you speak to him? Because obviously back then you're out it publicly.
no, you know what it was. It was.
You can out you.
No. You know what it is. Like, what I've seen is that there's a difference in it. Like, there are the random brothers from like I don't know Malaysia or something that can't even string two sentences together.
Shout out Malaysian man.
Shout out I'm not saying that to generalize. I'm saying that as a specific. I'm saying that as a specific. But basically, like they'll literally say like, "Oh, I wanna," I wanna. Like no, but they'll write that. Like they'll write like, "Oh, fuck you, I wanna," and then
in that voice when they're writing it.
What's going on here? Are you getting these, or you've been told?
No. We're talking about obviously.
I thought, hey,
now you.
No, allow you, man.
No, continue, man.
No. I'm saying there's a difference. Like when I was doing that little outburst thing, where certain guys were reaching out and then sending like the DMs over, it was never like man them, or like the people that like would be around us or whatever, or even people in this country. It was literally just like random people like from different like countries or whatever, like doing the maddest and doing the most. See, now if it was like my boy and whatever, or if I got one and like
You got a dick pic?
you'll behave yourself, bro.
A lie.
One of them
I got one.
One of them
Listen, man have already introduced it and said that it's not me getting dick pics. Relax.
One of the girl definitely sent me pictures.
I've got a question.
I hate you, you know.
What possessed you to say, ladies, send me your
Dick pics.
let's out these guys together.
Hashtag me too.
No, man should be like that.
No, but I'm saying it could be a serious situation. Like some family members or some real tight friends could have been really struggling during that period receiving aubergines. So you was just like, no, it's time to put an end to. Like I'm being, I know.
No, you know what it is. I don't even think it wasn't even that deep, bro. It was just it was just banter and jokes in it. I was getting bare joke of some of this thing. Like basically, it was inspired by someone that we all know who kind of added something on FB, and I was like, yo, imagine if I did this every week and just said, yo, the worst ones that you lot are all posting up, just put that through. That's how I treated it. No, honestly speaking, that's how I treated it.
Every week.
No, that's how I treated it.
I can remember actually seeing that.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I treated it.
But as friends, we had to shut you down and say, mate, week one,
Got shut down.
week one in Big Brother House.
No, I'd never, like, if it was the man name or anything like that, it is a conversation.
So you're cool, man.
I'd never. No,
you hear that?
You know,
Yo, so you're
I'm being
live on it. On camera, he's cool.
So just for context,
Yeah.
you guys shut him down when he was
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they did.
Those and a few other we had to.
Oh,
As
in
friends.
fact.
it was on Facebook. It was mad.
Yeah.
Heads hour. It was
Yes,
mad.
yeah, I remember that. The thing is, it's weird I led to that because it wasn't even until you brought it up. I forgot it, but I'm glad you did
I
because
remember now.
out of dark times.
So would you ever send one?
No. Like,
Why if you don't get it?
No. Like, if we're talking unsolicited, no, never would. But like in relation to wifey and whatever, hell yeah, like wifey trade all the time. Like it is what it
Wifey's
is.
different, no?
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I mean. When he asked would you ever, I was thinking, oh, you don't send to
Yeah, like unsolicited or just to randoms, like not.
Would
a
you
chance.
weeks?
Oh.
Can't hear you.
Yo. Some bass in your voice, B.
That's not really my kind of thing. Still, I'm gonna keep it 100 still.
Okay.
That kind of liar to me.
Check it.
If he jumps on like R. Kelly in this now, yo, Kelly with this shit, man.
Yo, say what you're saying, bro.
Alright, anyway, so I kind of feel like I've seen it in a lot of situations where people can become underhanded after the fact. So I wouldn't want to be one of them people that get caught out and my pictures are there everywhere. That's not. I'm not trying to be that guy.
Some Dominic thing, innit?
Yo, shout out Dominic.
What happened there?
No, man need to leave Dominic alone.
It's not New Year's yet.
Oh, like, no.
Yo, don't get shot down.
No, in that case, I pulled but this is the thing. We've spoke about this before. In that case, I'm not eyeing him like his brethren did.
Fam, are you mad? If I seen you carry on getting your face with
I'm not putting it on the socials. That's not happening. I'll rip you off it. I'll rip you off the girl, and I'll say, yo, what you doing, blood? Like man to man. But I'm not putting that on lives and that, and then putting it on the socials. Man's lives.
She was sick. Yo, he was sick.
His career's done, bro. Like he can't go anywhere.
How long ago was that? 5?
6 years.
And he's still relevant. He's still
every year, mate.
That picture creeps back up every year.
What new on it?
About that time.
You don't speak about it though. Well, he should be doing appearances on that. He should be
He could have got famous off this.
No, but the wicked you need to get him dealing with his face though. His face was getting.
No, I don't think he can do appearances.
I think he should appear on like Grime Daily and that.
No, I think the only thing he can do is porn. I actually do. Because I don't think girls are going to flock to get a signature. The man them ain't gonna want to see him. Like I think, like if you say Dom starring in the next curb crawler, like
So you say like a New Year's Eve poster with my man's face on it?
I'm just saying, I ain't going to. If you put a poster up and say, "Yo, Dom's at this venue,"
I stand that famous that people would know who he is. That genuinely,
people know. He could use the clout. Clout equals money, innit? He could use the clout somehow. He could have monetized that time.
There's only a few avenues he could go though.
You say that if there's any time for him to do it, it should have been fresh when it happened,
straight away.
And within that year, leading up to the next film.
Should have made it a yearly thing, really.
Yeah, but it's too late.
Every New Year's Eve,
finished.
By the looks of it, Dom, if you're listening, if you want branding, come to DJM or brand.
We don't judge over here, bro.
We don't judge over here.
We won't judge you.
You won't be out it either. But yeah, back to Black Twitter. There's a lot of things circulating. I don't know if you saw that thing recently. Actually, it's about a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, with Neymar going back to Brazil. I don't know if you man saw that. Yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
No. What do you think to that?
No. But yo,
you look at people differently, innit? Like, obviously, he's a sick baller, but what he's done, issues.
I'm a bit. Yeah, I was
talking about the mum thing.
Yeah.
No, listen, is that true? No. I thought that was a typo in the group, look.
No.
That's real.
That's real.
Yo,
You see it.
Listen, he gave it a caress and a slap. No, I think man need to explain it a little bit.
Just for context of the viewers, some people don't know. People like me, I don't even watch football. What actually happened?
We'll tell you about the play first. So Neymar is like one of the greatest players in the world, Brazilian superstar, currently injured, and there's accusations he's finessing his mum.
Say finessing. We don't mean stealing from her. We mean finessing his mum.
Listen, when I seen the video clip, Asti's man, my laugh was instant. I couldn't believe what I seen.
There's a
video, bro.
He's got his foot
goes like this.
Ultra jump mode.
Like all the feeling on your booty, all that curved it.
He's curved.
Wow.
He's curved.
You know, he's laying back as well.
He's got his foot up. His foot's up. Full jam mode.
His mum, like his
birth mother, his biological.
No, man, alright.
It don't matter. It's foster mother from it. It don't matter.
No, man, alright.
Your foster mum's a bit different.
What? Why is it to do that?
Because she's not your mum, is it?
So, raised your blood.
No, that was the way round. That was the girls do that about their foster. No, not having that.
I'm not hearing that.
I'm not hearing what you're saying. Any person that has a parental guidance to you, there's a different level of respect. Whether it's blood or not, I'm just saying if there's a parental guidance from any of my elders, I'm not looking at you ready to finesse you.
I agree, but set man are different, innit? A man's from Brazil, and Brazil's a mad country,
No, again, shout out Brazilian fans. I'm not saying.
Yo, I'm not trying to give him no ratings because that finessing your mum thing is mad.
Do you think it's alright though? Is he like?
What he must do?
No, it's not the first case, is it?
Yeah, it's not.
Remember Biscuit?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Did you man see Biscuit do that?
Yeah.
Horrible.
But I think Biscuit was joking.
Why?
No, that was different though. Was half naked, Crescent's one bomb.
No, but it wasn't just the
half naked part.
It was the lead. It was like the manner of the lead. Like, I couldn't.
I went through his stomach, but man, alright.
Yeah, but I think he was half naked because he's just at the
He's in his yacht. That's what I'm saying. The half naked bit is the worrying matter. It's his body language as he's gone towards his mom. Like I tell you what it's like.
To get the one wine.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like that. So say for example, you walk through a dance where you see the thing, you think right, brush, try and get the wine and whatnot. That's how he walked past his mom.
Yeah, but that's not your mum though.
Walked up to her like
She's cooking food or something.
That's just cooking food. Jollof or something, innit?
Tyrese and baby boy.
Jollof and
I feel like Set Man, I feel like with the whole biscuit thing, I feel like Set Man gets so used to this big social media following that when the cameras are, they just do shit.
No, but that's
I don't know.
I think that's the new era, innit? Like, catchy, innit?
Any attention.
Anything for clout.
He was so
See the stuff.
That man get disowned, mate.
What stuff?
Did you want? When you gotta wait for Eugene.
I don't know, you know, like they'll get disowned by the real people, or they'll get like, yo, you need to fix up. But there's still people who follow and
You shouldn't have told them man to fix up. The man should know that already.
There's a fine line because really and truly, like these men are trying to like brand themselves social media wise and be personalities
or influencers,
or influencers, and as a result of that, they're doing things that are outside the comfort zone of many. So even like taking a selfie in public, certain people will say, "Yo, what are you doing that for?" And then they'll be like, "Yo, you don't see the vision. I'm trying to get a few likes in that." Now, when they take it to that next level, that's when the line gets challenged, and they're like, "You know what? Yo, this is bad." But when all they're seeing is the views. All they're seeing is the views and the likes and the comments that's generating bare traction.
But you know, one of the things that he was saying is that he was like, why is everyone getting so mad? Is it your mum? Is it your mum?
Talk about biscuit again.
Yeah.
Biscuit was moving mad.
It's your mum,
He's really trying to fend the thing.
No, you know
what he should have just done is said, you know what, you
wasn't even that bothered. I don't think he was even that bothered. He wasn't even trying to fend it.
What he should have done is just said, yo, you know what, you man, that was some dumb shit. I was just playing, but he shouldn't have done that.
No. In his defense,
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with anything he's done, but in his defense, you don't have to answer to me.
No.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing. I don't agree with anything he's done.
And we're talking about
a
year, like last year from.
Yeah, you don't have to answer to man, but I still wouldn't do that for.
No, I don't agree with what he did, but I rate the way that he held down his own situation.
Exactly.
Like the way he dealt with that situation.
Doing that.
Yeah.
It's worked for him.
So
I'm not doing that.
Is he in Backchat now? Because Backchat's got a new season. Apparently, they have to pay for it. I ain't seen it.
I don't think I've seen him in there for the past like 2 seasons. But to be honest,
I wonder why. Incest bay.
Not in it.
So what's the craziest thing you might have done to like win an argument? Or to sort of stand your ground. I'm a stubborn motherfucker, so let's just leave.
I win. I win.
I hear that. I'm not in it. I'm not arguing.
I in.
Shut it down. I'm not in.
I've not, but I can tell you someone who has.
Oh, here he goes. Come on.
Are you outing again?
It's not outing. Okay. It's a story that needs to be told, and to be fair, it's a shout in it. Shout out to my wife. Keisha, I love you.
Oh snap!
But basically, we had me and a few of the guys and whatever. We were just chilling one night and whatever.
I want to know. Oh my days!
Quiche. And basically, what happened is that me and another one of my friends we had a bet. The bet was for like 10 quid. So the money's there. It's laying there. Fine. I lose the bet, right? So I go to pay him the money. She comes out of nowhere and she snatches the money and she's all up in my man's face saying you ain't getting the money, whatever. So then he's all up in her face and she's not having none of it. So then she says, you know what? Tell you what, you can have the money. She rips the tenner into pieces and flings it in his face.
It's horrible.
What did you do? That's sterling, you know. Shout out to Raheem.
What do you think I'm doing? Babe, you got this. Babe, it's fine. You got this. Because no one's gonna show up on us. She'll smack, man.
No, but listen. The brother, I don't know who it is, was rearing up in girl's face.
Fam.
See what you're doing.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
No, it's cool because I know you don't know. I don't know my wife.
That's what I was gonna say.
But I'm telling you now, right?
She can hold her own, basically.
Listen, he held her back.
She'll beat you up in it.
You held her back. He held her back.
Flip side,
This is what it was.
my mum won a bet and she violated me.
Yeah.
So
Really? She was in the wrong. She was violated.
Oh yeah, she was in the wrong. And everyone told her she was in the wrong, but you can't tell her
Was there alcohol involved or anything like that?
What was the bet?
No.
She just won't have a man take money off her man, fam.
Listen, there was no money trading hands. Keisha was running the shit.
shut that down.
No.
Can you imagine what it would have been for a 20 then? Raw. No, can you imagine that?
She ripped it up. Threw it in his face.
No, actually, it actually was in his
Wait,
face.
hold on.
face.
Hold on.
It was horrible.
Was it one of them new tenants?
No. Because you can't rip them. I was gonna say, you can't rip them. Plastic money.
We're all sitting there, we're in shock like.
How did you man feel?
To be fair,
At first I was laughing.
after that point, yeah, we were still cool. But like, obviously, like nowadays,
He don't rock with you, does it? Nah.
I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't really mess with no one.
know where he is.
Missing from that.
because of that?
No.
Career done, yeah? Another done like that.
It's not.
I ain't making no bets with you around your girl.
violating his pride?
She's different now.
Yo, even that
shout out to
Monopoly.
Keish, mate. She's the
Even-
best.
yeah.
She's the realest.
She's the goat, mate. Honest.
What, Monopoly as well?
No, not the go at Monopoly. What go at Monopoly? That's me, innit?
You don't like that.
Monopoly king, innit?
Is this true?
Man know this. Man know this. The realest know this.
Is this true?
That he's the best. Monopoly.
Have you not played all the time?
Hez,
He's in the top- he's in the top three.
who is the like overall? Who is the greatest Monopoly player you've seen?
Who's better?
HG double, don't make impression, man.
Who's in the top three?
No, there's no pressure because I'm always in the perfect position to see who's winning and who's not.
What's that at the side?
You
I don't really know. I'll be honest. I really play.
I'll wait. Let's wait for his answer.
I
Does
really
he
play.
hold Keisha's bag while you're not playing?
I'm just waiting for his answer.
What's the answer though?
Just
He is, to be fair. He's
Thank
certified.
you.
The GOAT, yeah?
He's certified.
Oh,
He's certified. He's certified.
Is he the
Yeah.
GOAT?
certified.
Hezzy said he's the GOAT.
You can't say anyone's the GOAT really until
that's what I was gonna say.
until they retire, until they stop playing.
So I don't know if to do with Jay-Z. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet. I'm not sure. So.
Shut the hell up.
Or do a Ja Rule play.
What?
What's up, even war? You're out of order still. You're out of order still.
Well, yeah. Anyone want to play? You know I am. NGenius.
Shouts to that first. You're talking the most over there, fuck.
What?
You mad? You're not the.
Wait, who is he? Who is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy?
Yo, leave man's pockets dry on Monopoly fans.
He said invite him next
Yo,
time.
invite me next time.
Yo, let's set Keisha.
Let's set it up.
I'm not playing.
He's not ready for. He's not ready for our level.
He's got the glasses for it.
Oh, you two again, yeah? I'm not playing with no novices, man. He's got to prove himself.
You got to prove yourself still. You got to prove
Tuesday.
yourself. Yeah.
You're already
We'll set it up. We'll set it up for you.
What part of that combo upset you then?
This guy.
I didn't even know where he came from.
Monopoly.
I didn't even know where he came. This one right here.
Cheer them now, yeah?
Monopoly. I don't play Monopoly. It didn't vex me. You got vexed.
Okay.
Can you actually play Monopoly though?
I hope so.
Yo.
Very well.
Alright, cool.
New challenger for you.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Alright, well, we've covered that. We'll have a game of Monopoly at some point. Next topic. Again, I saw it on Twitter, seen a little bit of clips on Instagram. There was a concert what happened a couple of days ago with Roddy Ricch in London, and obviously I don't know if you heard about it. There's been a stabbing which involved a couple of young adults again.
Seen the video.
Yeah. I just think it's a crazy time at the moment, and I'm not just saying that knives now is a bigger problem, but it's just being highlighted so much more.
London's a mad.
I wanted to say London.
Wherever, but I'm saying mostly it's there, isn't it?
So I think two ways. I think one way it could be a fact of trying to eradicate the fact that knife crime is going up, but two, I think it just makes news. Like I feel like the press find it easy to say knife crime, gangs, young blacks, hoods, and it just literally makes news. You get knife crime, they automatically think young black males, hoods,
and that's only one place, and that's in London. If you go to other places, I was watching something with Piers Morgan and one guy who was calling him vigilante, and they were saying that the demographic in Scotland, obviously, because there's more white people there. There's the majority of the knife crime over there is majority white people. So, but if that's not really put in the media, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And like I say, I think that is a big thing where I think the press do think, okay, what's going to be catchy? Like all this Raheem Sterling and his tattoo on, obviously that was a gun that he had tattooed, which signified a big part of his life about his father and that. But the way the press spin it, it always seems like it's a negative towards young black males. And I feel this concert, like I'm not really that much clued up on the artist, Roddy Ricch, but he's from California. He's a youngster coming over to London. I think it's Brixton. I've been to Brixton. It's crazy. The atmosphere in there is crazy. So the fact that I've seen his tweet recently that he might not ever be able to perform back in the UK, and he's young, like you don't know what future I had, and the fact that the police or whoever the organisers are like blaming him.
That's not sure.
No, but that's
What
is
kind
the
of music
headline.
does he play? You know,
It's hip hop, isn't it?
Yeah, hip hop.
what trap music or
Kind of like melodic.
Just wondering why
It's melodic, but
He's blowing
big.
up. He's blowing up. When you're blowing up, it's sort of
you just go everywhere.
And like I say, Brixton's still close. Like it's still a big venue, but it's probably one of the better venues he would have played at, especially in the UK. And like I say, the fact that now he could be banned, and again the press are talking about knife crime, and again it's involved black youths. I just feel like it's a crazy time at the moment. Crazy time where anything that happens to a young black male, or young black males predominantly, where they step out of line a bit, it's this fuck that. And I see something in the paper. This is about 2-3 weeks ago, where I think it was a young white male. I think he murdered someone, but he definitely did something wrong, and they labelled him lad, like young lad did this. I'm thinking, I would never get labelled a lad.
In the semantics.
Yeah.
See, now, to be fair, you see with this whole like knife crime thing and everything, how it seems like it's a pandemic at the moment. I feel that there's a lot of factors that didn't exist when we were growing up to what's happening now. First and foremost, social media and the accessibility of cameras and things being recorded. It's very hard to ignore something when it's literally being plastered over all of your major servers, i.e. YouTube, Twitter, people like celebrating their crimes, all the rest of it. We never really had that when we were growing up, in a sense, to say that it wasn't always made fully known to everybody that someone's been wet up on the streets. Normally it's like, if you're in the madness, then you would know. Or if you knew the man them that were in the bits doing the madness, exactly. Like it's unseen or unheard of unless you're in the game. But then you've got the other factor, where say for example, you're getting like a large amount of people now that aren't really engaging the street life like a means of survival. They're engaging the street life for a form of clout and a way to get famous. Or more to the point, they're actually running around like headless chickens, just thinking, right, cool, forget the money. I just want to be known on these streets as the hardest out. So I'm just gonna stab a man and it's cool. Or I'm gonna hold a gun to a man's head and it's blessed. Or I'm gonna box a man up and it's cool because man know that I'm the man about the area. Whereas say for example, when a few of us are growing up and we've all been like directly around people that have been moving, even to like how some of us may have grew up. We've been exposed to things that, like, say for example with me, like moving around in like certain places in Bulwell, even like going from Bulwell to St. Anne's and stuff, there were certain people that I almost aligned myself with, where it was like, right, if you're going to carry a knife, it's because you know you're rolling with a few bits in your pocket and this is what you've got to move by this hour and bring me back the money so we can get the real. Like, that's what you held it for, because people can rob you on the spot and you have to return with either that product or the money, otherwise your life is in danger. Whereas some of these guys are just carrying it around because it's fashionable.
I agree and I disagree. Like I feel that's a press spin, that it's a cool thing to carry around. When you actually speak to whether the victims or I do say I use them all as victims, whether they've used it, they're a victim of their own fear, but a lot of victims carry it around for safety as their only means of survival. As like back in the day for me, like school days, like we'd have beef over schools, and if there was rumours that another school was coming to our school or vice versa, it was a fist fight, like,
and it would be done after that.
Yeah,
or bat or something.
Yeah,
And woodwork.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if someone brought a knife, it'll be like, what? No, like, what?
There was a code.
So at some point in the past 15 years, I think that code's been sort of washed over.
There's no code.
Like, and for me, like, if I had beef with you back in the day, you brought a knife. Your bread is like, no, that's whack, like fighting proper, man to man.
After school, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I feel like now, if I know you've got a knife, my only option is, I know your man's not got to tell you to put the knife back. Yo, you got a knife. I'm gonna have to go to someone else, and then.
Or man gets sort of bigger.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a lot of it now, where it's stab or be stabbed, like, oh, that's just how they think. That's the mentality of thinking.
Before it gets to that point, though, a lot of the time it's so verbal. Everyone's saying, right, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
it's verbal. They don't get to the point. They don't get to the point where we're like, we're gonna arrange to fight. We're gonna arrange to meet. There's none of that. It's verbal. Over. When I see you, it is. I'm gonna. You better be on it.
I think that's what it is, and I think a lot of people.
I think it's peer pressure as well.
Are hanging around in bigger groups, like just together. So like as you say, when they see man is or a man's on his own, and it's literally man that's slipping, as they say, and you go do what they're doing. It's like. It's never like a one-on-one fight as it used to be.
I agree with Hez slightly. Like on your topic, what you just said about it's verbal. Back in the day, you have to text man or page man. Now you can do a video and put all types of HD and all that. You can make the knife look like some real machete. Do you know what I mean? Like
what you were saying as well, but I think you know what it is as well. For most people, most youths, it's the motive is money. Nah.
I don't think
listen. Like, when I say the motive is money, they're seeing the money man doing his thing, yeah? But now they don't respect the money man as being the older. So they're looking at it like, well, my man's doing this thing, I know where his yard is, I know where he's at, let me go take that. So they're not bothered, there's no hierarchy of like elders or nothing like that. So now, some of these youngers are making some mad what, doing whatever they're doing, yeah? And now, they've still got the mentality, so they're looking at like this. Now they can afford guns and knives, yeah, to do what they're doing, and it's like they're looking at it like, well, he's a target because I know he's got a watch, he's got a chain, so let me go take that, and I'm gonna go knife point. If he's not giving it to me, I'm gonna have to serve him up and then take the thing. Do you know what I mean? So I think it all comes down to money as well.
Yeah, but you see, before it gets to that point, what about the ones that aren't doing it for that? The ones that aren't bothered about the middleman or the main man or the boss or whoever it is.
But don't you think that's? Do you think that's kind of the gang thing, that kind of gang culture, like areas and that, or do you reckon that?
A lot of the time people do stuff to fit in,
and that's
one of the biggest things that got said to me is you are the company you keep. You hang around a barbershop for so long, there's only going to be a certain amount of time before you get your haircut.
I don't think that's the case anymore, because look how many quote unquote innocent victims are getting involved. Like certain kids who have got nothing to do with it.
That's where the media twist things though. Again, for me, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that people don't get stabbed for doing nothing, because sometimes they do. But when you are in a thriving community that is prolific for knife crime, gun crime, drugs, all the rest of it, you're gonna get things. You're gonna get people are gonna get hurt, whether you're innocent or not. But a lot of the time, you're involved in something. If you're in that community, you're involved in something. Whether you know somebody or you roll with somebody that does that kind of stuff, you're involved.
But look at robberies though, bro. Look at robberies when kids are getting robbed for their trainers or their phone or whatever. A man is saying, no, I can't give you that. Man are getting jerked and then taking it. Like,
I'll be honest, I can't. There's quite a lot of recent things that have happened where I know people that have been stabbed. In the case, I've not heard where a man's robbed a man for his shoes or anything like that recently. Now it's just a case of I'm sticking my man because of the people that he hangs around with. And you know, a lot of the time
initiations over
you could be. Let's say if you was a group of 5 or group of 4, and then there's one brother that doesn't really do nothing. There's one brother that doesn't really do nothing. You man rob a man in town or lick a man down in town. They're gonna catch you slipping. Like when they catch you slipping on the flip side, and you're not involved, but what you doing with them man? That's the cycle. That's the vicious cycle. That's something that we're never ever going to be able to stop. Them people that are innocent, that aren't involved, but pick the wrong choice of friends. Again, you are the company you keep.
And I think that strongly turns round to kind of like where people need to start focusing their solutions. A lot. What say for example the greater like kind of aspect of people looking inwards from their perspective is They're not looking at like where a lot of these kids are coming from and where a lot of these kids are moving, who these people are moving with. You're right in the sense to say it's about the company you keep, but sometimes when you're living in either disenfranchised areas or, say for example, you're amongst a whole community where these things still happen and there's not enough to kind of veer other people to different paths and different avenues, then therefore it's a matter of time before people say, you know, I'm sick of my situation, right, cool, I'm just going to run with these man and it's going to be blessed. It's like I've got people that are like affiliated with certain family members who have done exactly that, where their beginnings have been so humble, they've had an option to kind of not be in that kind of cycle when they're with us, but as soon as they go back to their ends and they're around, you know, the regular people, yeah, they've got to put back on the hard man face, and the next thing you know, they're in pen serving up a deal for stabbing a man or running in the shop and battering a man and leaving him within an inch of his life.
Yeah, but you see why I see it though is that everybody has a choice. I don't care what situation you're in, everybody has a choice. You make that choice. When you get up in the morning, if you wake up with you wake up in a shit mood, your day's gonna be shit. You can turn that around. You can just because you're one. No, but listen, just because you're one person today doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the same person tomorrow.
You can do, but then once again, it's a strength of mind and strength of character conversation. But then having there's some people
we know
that are not strong enough to that's what I'm saying.
I
not
know
strong
what
enough
you're saying.
to not want to be part of the man them or not think right. I've got 4 cousins over here that are drillers. I want to be just like them, but really and truly, I don't have the heart for it. And the next thing you know, they end up doing exactly what they don't want to do, and then that's that they're trapped in the life. That's what I'm saying. They're trapped in the life.
I hear what you're saying, but it's not all doom and gloom in them situations.
It's not. No, there's a way out.
You can pull it back round.
There's ways that people can turn it around.
Again, a lot of the kids, it just gets.
I hear you get snowed in, and I hear all the rest of it. But at the same time, it's about you making the choice. You can be a product of your environment, regardless of your situation. It doesn't matter whether you're involved or not involved, because there's people that have turned it around. There's living people out there, living testaments that are doing it, turning it around.
Now I agree with you, because if you think about the main sources of what beef is over, it's area codes, it's whatever, narcotics, or it's gyal. That's the three.
Area code back in the day was area codes.
So if that's the 3 main things, then if you're not as passionate or pursued as those 3, like 50, no, actually, yeah, you can have that girl. Do you know what?
A lot of the young do those,
and that's what I think it's about. Like you say, it's about your own mindset. Like if you're adamant, like nah, he's not coming on my ends.
As a 14, 15-year-old, 12, 13, 14, 15, however old these kids are, yeah, your mindset's not there yet.
No, I disagree with that.
So obviously some of them are. Don't get it twisted.
No, everything.
They're a lot more forward now.
No, I think you're not really speaking up of youth or your own. Like I feel like every child or every person has an ability to say, you know, I don't want to do this. Yeah, it's the same.
There's other compounding factors that stress people into certain things.
You've got a choice.
Everyone has a choice. Everyone has a choice.
Another thing is why I push the choice thing so much is because it is ultimately your choice. You want to walk with a knife? Walk with a knife. What are the consequences of that? We know the consequences of our actions before we even do them.
Okay, but for some people, the consequences of not having a knife is death.
You can't say that. It's too broad.
For some people, that's how they look at it. For some people, that's how they look at it.
Yeah, but that doesn't warrant rolling with a knife.
No.
But
that doesn't warrant.
If it's for them, they're still putting themselves in that situation where you can get stabbed.
I feel like every situation.
Don't be around it.
Every situation.
But if you live there, that's where you live.
Yeah, but
how can you just be like, oh,
you've got a choice
as a child?
If you know these men are going to be beefing you just because you're going to be around, take yourself away, have a new focus, have a dream, have another purpose.
So you're at school, so your core group of school friends, who you're in school with, they don't get on with the next class or whatever, so just the area that they live, they can't help that because that's their life, they're in that.
Sometimes though, the group know when somebody else is not on it. If I'm playing football, so to speak, and I'm with these man, they know I want to be a footballer. They're not bringing me in beef.
Really?
They're not bringing me. If they're my people, they know I'm not going to be beefing. They know I'm not going to carry a knife.
You feel this at that age?
I think so.
14.
Because there are some 14, 15-year-olds who know they've got a dream. They want to be a footballer. They want to go to university. They've got dreams and aspirations. Certain other people just want a quick fix. I want that money now. Some people are willing to work a bit harder for it and get what they're getting a bit quicker, but they're willing to work and get up and change.
To play advocate, because I get what you're saying. So imagine you got a brother that's a footballer and he's in the league and he's about to do his thing, but his bros in beef, his older bros in beef, and they can't get to his older bros, so they go to his younger bros thing when he's practicing, so they choke up his bro. These things happen.
But we're not saying that that's not what happens.
Yeah.
What we're saying is the choices that you make that have effect on whether it be you involved. If I can't get to you, I'm going to get to your mum, your brother, whoever. That is the vicious cycle.
Yeah.
That is the vicious cycle. So, you are the company you keep regardless, whether you're family or not. You are the company you keep, but everybody has a choice. It doesn't matter whether you're 14, 12, whatever. Your choice. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it.
That's too simplistic.
I don't directly agree with that.
But it's because you can't say. I
don't disagree, but it's not that simple.
But I think the case in hand was what was talking about the concert. There was a group who had a knife, a group who didn't. Now it could have been a sword fight, a knife fight, where both sides had a knife, but one side went to enjoy a concert,
and that's where there's a choice. 100%. If you're going to a concert, that's a perfect example. Why are you taking a knife to a concert?
Premeditated.
That you know what you're on. But on the flip side of that though, if you know that a rival group are going, can you see why they might carry that? Just in case they see them and they're...
No.
You can't see why they might.
You know what it is? I've lived that life. I've lived that kind of life, and I know I've been on both sides of the coin. So I know why people do it. I get why people do it, and I understand why people do it. But I don't agree with when people say, "Oh, you're 14, 12, you don't understand."
Yeah, so it's crazy like what you see now and like what's being like publicized in like the news, and I feel like even for this concert, like there's so many variables where like obviously the artist got to come back to the UK, the promoters or whatever are gonna get fines, the venue might get locked off, and obviously the bigger thing, the victims who have been stabbed. And I just feel like no, but I just feel like obviously what happens on the streets or in area codes is one thing, and I'm not even like saying that should happen, but for you to purposely bring a knife to a concert, but not only that, how you managed to get into the concert.
Oh, did it happen actually in the venue?
In the venue.
That's mad, and that's what I'm saying to you, like, if you're going to a place, that's like going to the cinema or going to, do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have fun, enjoy yourself, like.
If you're thinking to do that, it's best you don't.
That's what I'm saying, like, stay at home.
That kind of goes back to what you were saying about the choice. Because you have the choice. If you feel that you're not going to be safe going there, just don't go.
Premeditated, then, isn't it? You already go. You're going with that idea.
You know people are trying to have fun, so you know that the guard is down, and that's why it's premeditated. This is why these men are doing what they're doing. But to kind of follow on from that point, see, this is now feeding into this whole narrative that hip hop or like grime or whatever, like any form of music that isn't of urban nature incites violence. Oh, rapper turns up in London, we're not having this on our streets because all it does is bring it here.
That's all the press is saying.
Same thing with them all trying to shut down drill. Now, even though drill is a little bit of a madder one, because really and truly some of these guys are confessing their crimes, but some of these guys are doing it because they love the art form. And if we think about hip-hop in general, hip-hop is meant to be a reflection of that one's environment or their life, whether it's real or not, because people can relate to it. So therefore, they're kind of saying what they believe is their truth. And the reason why it catches on so well is because, as a people, we can better relate to that than a Taylor Swift. Because we've either lived it or been around it.
But now I feel like people are being pressured to be as real as you're talking, and people will get tested if you don't do what you're talking
exactly.
about. Really, you know what I mean? It's not
exactly. It's a bit mad, but we're feeding into that narrative. All the narrative is being spun to make it look like.
I think that's the thing.
Yeah, to make it look like.
I feel like, and obviously, as a person who's held events, as well as obviously going to events. Like I've seen crazy things happen, and a lot of it's been at like hip hop R&B events. But I've also seen stuff at like in pubs. I've seen stuff in like the pop room where
drug it could go off.
Yeah, and that's where I think
to each other.
I think that's where we should go next. Like, what's the craziest thing you've seen in a rave? Whether it's violence, whether it's just crazy antics. What's the craziest things people have seen in a nightclub?
For me, it was Garage Nation when I was about 16. I snuck in with my brother. A lot of beef popped off. There was champagne bottles going after people, glasses being dashed in people's faces.
Is that Palais?
Yeah, back in the day, and it was crazy. Obviously, I'm not about that life. I'm going there because I like garage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see what I want. But other people have got different agendas. So when I seen that man get his head topped, it was like, woo. And then for me, it was like,
What shot?
I like going out. No, champagne bottle. And it was like, I don't really want to be in there. And it showed me, I was too young to be in there anyway. I shouldn't have been there, I shouldn't have seen it, but I'm glad I did see it. So it made me showed me from that age that I'm not about that life to see it, I'm not about that life to do it. And the people that I went with, my brother and my cousins, they're not about that life either. But because we like the garage, these things sometimes do go on, but I had a choice to make. Obviously I started going out from young, but it was like, we started going, so I'm in the garage club, in the garage.
The garage.
At ISIS, Palais back then. Man was smashing bottles on each other's heads, and it made me realise them kind of nights, not for me. I was too young for it, but it was good to see that I didn't want to be involved in that kind of stuff, so it was crazy.
That's crazy. Mine's sort of off topic. Again, I was a youngster. I would say 17, 18. One of my first few times going out, I went to Media, which is now Inc. Obviously, it was Gatecrasher before that, but it was Media during my time. And I'm in a club, and I'm like, yeah, I need to go to the toilet. So I've gone downstairs, and like, literally like near the urinals, I seen this guy beating this thing, like fully. So I feel a bit awkward. Like I'm walking in, thinking, "Is this the toilet?" I've come out. It's the toilet. I've walked in. They looked at me, not stopped.
Was he bum out?
No, I don't know.
Could you see the girl? Like, this was his bum.
I'm confused.
Set up and the older their trousers and that.
I don't listen.
That's wild.
I don't know about how the man was dressed. I can't remember that. I can't remember how the female was dressed. I just remember thinking, wow. Is this this is what night is that kid be about?
I think I'm gonna have to try that myself.
No, I'm just saying I got introduced to a night out and I was like, wow, this is crazy. So again, it's slightly away from yours, but being a youngster and then seeing people get down, look at you, and then continue to get down, and you're like, I don't even know whether to go toilet or not. It was. Did
you go toilet?
I can't actually. I really can't remember.
It was traumatized.
I can't remember. I can't remember how it went. I really can't remember how it went.
Toilets are in nightclubs.
Yeah.
So we was a toilet attendant.
No, this is before. This is before it became a craze. Like, back in the day, he doesn't know what around the toilet.
Pressure.
Was it splash by gash?
Yeah, there was none of that back in the day. None of that back in the day. So yeah, that was one of the crazy. Anyone got any more? Should we move on?
You might as well, because mine is similar to Benaz's the Kano thing.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened.
I think I was like that one.
We all know what happened in that Kano rave. That was wild.
I think you can tell that I've been out and I've seen quite a few, but like I say, it's a crazy world. Let's go into Fergie time. Obviously last week, he's woke up. Obviously last week we spoke about the plight of Arsenal and the fortunes of Man United. We did have a victory for Arsenal.
There is no plight, blood.
Okay, fella. Right. But I want to slightly off topic to the United and Arsenal debate. Ronaldo and Messi. Like, what I don't want to do is have a debate about who's better. But do you not just feel privileged that you've been in their like best period that you've seen both.
Oh, we've been exposed to that level of football.
And like for me, I'd never want to compare like talent or art. Like for me, I'm just like, yeah, they're great, or he's great, she's great. And for me to witness what Ronaldo done scoring a hat-trick, and then see what Messi done with his 2 goals, 2 assists, cigar run, I think it's just a madness. I think it's a madness.
Sick. Like we are literally witnessing like something that comes once in a generation. Like really and truly, before that, what do people have? Pele.
No, I don't have it. No, can't do that.
My God, that's
Why?
Hey,
was Pele a dead player?
No, because even
trying to mock Pele.
I'm not trying to mock Pele. I'm saying, as in the generations, and then you have like a period. So, say for example, between that period, we've seen people like Ronaldinho, who, to be fair, is the absolute football technician. But then after he fizzled out, like really and truly, we didn't see as much as we see of Ronaldinho as we've seen of Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. Like
that's the thing. There's longevity.
And that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't even say the talent, because I think there's been talented players, Zidane, the original Ronaldos. But I'm saying to this level. But I'm saying the longevity. That's the thing for me, because I think there's always a debate like, is Ronaldo better than the original Ronaldo? Is Messi better than Maradona or Ronaldinho? But I feel like one thing that can't be questioned is their longevity from when they've done it to continue to do it now. We've seen it. We've not seen like Ronaldinho is my all-time favourite player. I feel like technically he's the best player I've ever seen, but I feel a bit saddened that I only seen him for 6, maybe 7 years.
If that.
Some of these man are doing it for going on 13, 14, 13, 14 years.
That's down to nutrition. And
forget all that. Like that's I'm not on about science. I'm on about just witnessing what they're doing. You've got to you just got to respect them, man. And I feel like we're privileged to see that. Like you say, so like people flock like Ronaldinho's or Zidane's or Henry's. They come in for a couple of years, 6, 7 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Then they go. But to have the majority of our life seeing like, these guys are at the top of the game, I feel that's real.
And that's where my point comes from, as far as like the impact that, say for example, these two have on the game, and how we've grown up watching the game, and all the people that we've seen before then. Who was it before that had that level of impact to where generations down the line we're still talking about them? Because really and truly, only like real like football fans, even though it should stick out in everybody's minds, will talk about Zidane. Even though we all know Zidane.
Yeah, man, he scored from a corner, didn't he?
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
Like direct from the corner.
No, sort of mad like that. I can't remember.
He did a bit of the corner.
No, you took the corner, really. You took the corner.
I bet it's on about his volley, innit? I bet it's on the volume.
I don't know. There was no corner involved.
The backflip thing.
Do you know about Henry?
Yeah, come on, man. I spoke about it last week, man.
Not camera.
Henry camera.
When I see Ronaldo in the same era of like Henry and Zidane, and were they as great when those other guys were shining?
Not in Zidane. Not in Zidane. Yeah, not in Zidane.
16, 17. So
tail end of
the evolution that we're seeing, like.
So it's like passing of the torch.
Yeah, passing the torch.
But you see, Ronaldinho see Messi though from early, isn't it?
Yeah, Figo saw Ronaldo. That's what. Like, so they've had the two.
Yeah, like you see the way that football's evolving now is that you've got Ronaldo, Messi, and then you've got another tier of like your Mbappes and your other players that are coming in. Like it's not just them two guys. You can see the talent that's coming through from like
Neymar over the finessing of the batty. Neymar still up there for me.
And it's going to be a battle that's coming up for that generation. It's going to look so sick, and we might be having that conversation.
There's a couple of youngsters. Yeah, Mbappe's still only 20. Rashford's there's a few of the, not even just the next generation. I think like the Hazards and Neymars are the next generation under Messi.
Yeah, and then you got a younger tier.
Yeah, so like you say, there is an evolution, but I feel privileged to say that I saw that man in their prime, which is rare, and I feel that leads on to obviously seeing what LeBron's done. But I thought we'll cover that in a couple of episodes, because I know we've got a few B-ball fans.
I might have to sit in on that one.
We've got a few B-ball fans.
Not me still. I'm out.
Do you know any basketballers at all? Yeah, let's go for my corner, innit? Let's go for my corner.
That ML pressure.
Who starts speed?
This guy
He says Larry Bird. He says Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. Oh my God.
Shocking knows about the birds. But it's the end of DJM. Don't Judge Man. Episode 2. Catches on the rebound. We're out.